Commence primary ignition.
Hello, this is voice actor Anna Graves. I am the Duchess Satine from Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're watching Virtual Cantina Network.
Nice. There we go.
The man in the chair, everybody.
Right. Pay no attention to that corner over there. Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hello. How are you, Ashley? Feel like it's been forever since we've seen each other.
Yeah, it has. I'm okay. How are you?
Doing all right. Did you dig yourself out from the snow bomb cyclone that hit the East Coast?
You know, it took me 3 damn days to shovel myself out, and then today was 47 degrees and the snow was slush, and I'm like, yes. Oh my God, yes.
Piles and piles of slush, right? I could not believe those pictures that you sent. They were crazy. I was like, that's
it's starting to melt, so it's supposed to rain tomorrow and be in like the mid 40s or like 40 something. And then by this time next week, I think next Monday, it's saying it's going to be like sunny and 57. So I will take that all day. Hi, John.
Right. Hello, John. Thanks for joining us. How are you? Welcome, everybody, to the March episode of Daughters of the Galaxy. Here we are.
It is Maul March.
March Maulness. I can't remember what we're calling it. March to Maul? I don't remember. Yeah.
It's all the definitely things. All the Maul all the time.
Here at the Virtual Cantina Network, so we decided to jump on the bandwagon.
That's how we do. So I have to say, I'm not a big dark side person, but Maul is the most intriguing, I think, of the baddies, in my humble opinion.
Interesting.
I think he's got he goes from like a one-off villain, the Ides of Maul. Yes,
the Ides of Maul. That's a good one.
That's really good.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
I really think that he goes from a throwaway character, like a throwaway villain who barely says like 5 lines in The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, who would have thought that a character that was written to be disposable, and here we would be talking about them 27 years later.
Like literally disposable. That man broke in half and fell down the generator shaft.
He most certainly did, yes. He was beaten by a child. I mean, I guess technically he was like high school, college age at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that was exciting, and he's been through a lot, and kind of been between, I want to say, an unwilling pawn to a willing pawn to madness to revenge, and then finally just kind of acceptance.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, so we're going to kind of do a deep dive, origins, backstories, favorite moments, kind of leading up to the release of. It's just Maul, right? It's not Darth Maul. It's just Maul Shadow Lord. Is that what it is? It's coming out.
Yes.
Okay. So I did a little bit of a deep dive on the character, going back to pulling out some of my super old episode 1. This was a art of book, a little excerpt that was produced for the widescreen video collector's edition. So I had to go deep diving into that. So it turns out, one of the little behind the scenes fact that I actually did not know or did not remember at this point was that the very first scene of the very first day of shooting of episode 1 was a scene with Maul. Believe it or not. It was when Maul and Sidious were on the balcony, and he was talking about, at last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. That was the very first scene after the very first clipboard. Yeah. Clipboard? What do they call that? Yep. So, and the origin of the character's design was actually a bit of an accident. It was drawn by Ian McCraig, if I'm saying that right. Ian, I'm not sure.
Ian McCaig.
McCaig. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no R in there. Sorry, I have to adjust my
it's okay.
glasses here. So he was tasked by George Lucas to create a drawing of his worst nightmare for the Sith apprentice, and that was along the lines of what he came up with.
And I
He
think
said
I
it
have
was.
that drawing here
It's right
somewhere.
here, isn't it?
Oh yes, I
Yep,
have
that's it.
the framed version of that drawing. At
Oh, do you really?
I went to the costume exhibit when it was in Detroit, and they had a lot of like Maul concept art on the wall, and I think that was
Very
one of
cool.
them.
Very
So
cool.
creepy.
Yep.
Like that one in particular, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the shredded fabric or like the dread.
And the hair, yeah, he said that it was based on a nightmare he had as a kid of a clown looking through his bedroom window
Oh,
during a rainstorm, and he woke up in the middle of the night, was terrified, and just had a vision. Dave, very interesting that you brought that up. So when Lucas was given that in a production meeting, he slid it back over to him and said, "Okay, how about your second worst nightmare?"
we ain't signing up for that. That's scary shit.
Which is where we get the more classic Darth Maul design. But he was also given a female version, and this
Mhm.
was the Sith witch that he drew,
Night system.
which we might all think looks a little interesting there. So yeah, I'm definitely going along the lines of this is where we get the Dathomirian culture of clothing and the tattoos and the overall aesthetic of it, which has long since. But yeah, this was more one of the original drawings of Darth Maul. And Ian McCaig based him. It was on his own face that he did it, and actually, he
Ooh.
really was hating it. He was very dissatisfied with the drawing. He didn't like it, and he actually angrily blotted ink all over it. And then the spots on the face reminded him of some of the tattoos that he was coming up with for the designs of the evil senators. And then he
Dang.
decided to use those on Maul. And actually, in this picture, and he probably can't see it, but these are not horns, they are feathers. And they are
Oh yeah.
attached to his head with wire, like barbed wire that digs
Yeah.
into the flesh. Yeah.
Hot
So,
Toys put out a concept art figure of that, and it was limited edition. I think they only made 2,500 or 2,000 of them,
wow.
and it was as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, that's Ian McCaig's concept art." And then it was
Hmm.
just like, "Bam! Hey, Ahsoka, she's trapped and taking my cord with me.
She's running for it. She wants your
Just
earbuds.
don't take my laptop with you, buddy."
Right? Nope, she trying.
She
Okay.
did.
We all
Hold
can
on.
see a behind the scenes of Ashley's room here. Excuse the technical difficulties. There
Ahsoka
we go.
Tano does not want to hear about Darth Maul.
Nope. She's like, excuse me, pay attention to me. This is way more
Chaotic.
important. Way more important. Yep.
Oh my god. But yeah, it was like everyone's like, "What is the headpiece?" And I'm like, to me, like the neckwear is very like Temple Guardian like.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that. I wonder if that kind of had an impact on those designs later when we get to Rebels. Yeah, it's really interesting how many like cross-pollinated ideas that you get,
Right.
in Lucasfilm when it comes both to the live action and the animation. Scores and scores. I think he said at one point the maximum number of people who was working on the prequels was 17 artists all at the
Jeez.
same time, according to Doug Chang. It started with just 2, and then at their peak they had 17.
So
So,
crazy. It's amazing how much they've had to how many people have gotten on board with that, and right down to like the fabric designs, so like how his tunic is made,
mhm.
and it's not just you know a regular black tunic. There's actually like some thought to his clothing and how it's supposed to look, and I think that's incredibly fascinating. um
Well, and not only look, but especially in the first movie, how he could move,
yeah,
right?
and he
It
needed
had
to.
Exactly, it had to be designed in a way that Ray Park could move because that was actually part of the reason that he was hired for the job was
Right.
because of his skill as a gymnast and his skill as a martial artist. So, yeah, they had to design a costume that he could move in. Um, And it was pretty funny watching George Lucas say, "Hey, you know what? You all got to figure out how to learn this. You got to do this." He's telling Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson, he's like, you gotta figure this out because I'm not doing long shots, with stunt people. He's like, we want to see your
Yeah.
faces, we want to see you acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gusseted pants. I would notice those got picked up in Ahsoka. She very much has that same
Mhm.
style. Mm-hmm.
The thing I like the most about that scene where he's fighting Obi-Wan is
Mm-hmm.
they had to slow it down for the film because it was so freaking fast and they were just hacking away at each other.
See,
They had
I
to
don't know. Is that official? I've seen that floating around the internet, but I haven't seen that from like an official source anywhere.
yeah.
It seems a little sus to me. I mean, I could totally believe it,
Oh
but I'm like,
yeah. But
I want that.
the reason why I believe it is because they did like the lightsaber battle between the stunt person for Count Dooku and Ewan McGregor, and it was
Mm,
incredibly fast too. And then obviously the stunt between Ewan and Hayden, like those guys, again, just wicked fast, all at each other, and it was
hmm
just like it was unlike anything I'd seen. So the fact that that is floating around is like, okay, that I believe.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because I saw that same clip and I was like all excited about it, and then I was like, hang on, with all the AI crap and videos
I
out there and everything,
know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man, they could have taken the regular version and slowed it down to make it look like it was super fat. You know what? I'm like, I don't know, a little suspicious. But I will say that that was the stunt coordinator and George both talked about the fact that having hired someone to play Maul who already had all these inherent talents
Mhm.
really forced the other people to step up their game. Everybody else who was involved,
Yeah.
whether it was the coordinators designing the lightsaber fights, whether it was, Liam and Ewan having to fight this guy, it was like 3 months of grueling training, and they really had to step it up because you could tell how good this guy was. And unless you want to look like a total schlub in the film, you got to put in some effort here.
This is why
So,
Qui-Gon dies. You're
right?
terrible.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't put in enough practice. Didn't get in enough lightsaber time. Yeah.
Dang.
So, a lot of effort, I think, in the background, behind the scenes in the film for this character who was
Sure.
destined to die, quote unquote, uh, at the end of the movie.
It's
So,
always the ones that are destined to die that end up becoming fan favorites and get like these huge fleshed out backstories. I mean, look at Poe Dameron, look at Maul, like it's everybody. Look at Palpatine for all intents and purposes. Like
right? Yeah. Yeah.
it's
I
like,
was thought that was pretty interesting. I have to say that my initial reaction to it was the same as Dave Filoni's. I was like, George, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't bring him back. That's just the guy got cut in half and fell down. Like, let it go. Let it go, George. I was definitely not one of the ones who was super excited about the idea when he showed back up in Clone Wars. I think I
now
rolled so hard my eyes went back in my head. I was like, oh man, come on. No.
it took actually going to Celebration Chicago in 2019 for me to be like, wait, Maul survived that? And my friend was like, yeah, because she got the Gentle Giant spider, maquette that had
Okay.
like, all the pieces of the ship, and he was just like, ah. So they made like a limited edition one for Celebration, and I was like, she goes, oh, this is from Clone Wars. I was like, what? It's like Maul ain't in Clone Wars because I hadn't heard anything about it and I hadn't watched it at that time. And
Right.
she's like, you don't know what happens to Maul? And I'm like, no. I was like, he died. He was hacked in half in a tale
Yeah.
of revenge. And she
End
goes,
of the story. Yeah.
no. So watching Clone Wars during the pandemic and just seeing how they brought him back around, and especially like the manner in which they did it, him just basically being driven to insanity and seeking revenge and using his crazy dark side force powers to make legs for himself and make a lower half of his body, and just pure madness. And yes, Dave says, but then when he comes back, you get some of the best acting Sam ever did. Oh, sure. Like the part where he's in the ship and he's in the dark and he's muttering to himself and he's talking about Obi-Wan, and he's going on and on about the Sith and the Jedi, and he's just chanting to himself. It's insane. And I got chills. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is insane. What did you think watching that for the first time?
Um, I actually missed that one. I didn't pick up on what happened until the Sauvage brothers showed up, and I think it was what, season 4, season 5, yeah, end of season 4. That was when I had finally jumped on the bandwagon and was watching Clone Wars with my kids. And so I was like, "Wait, what?" So no, I very much had the same reaction. Then I was like, "Oh, come on, man, really? No, this is silly. This is just no, 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 no." So it actually took into Rebels for me to even get on board with the Maul bandwagon. And I'm pretty sure I threw popcorn at the screen the first time he showed up in Rebels. I was like,
Yeah.
damn it! When is this guy gonna just go away and die?
I
But
didn't
then,
know about the madness scene or how he got like
yeah,
reincarnated. I just knew he showed up, and I was like, wait a minute, how did he survive that when he
yeah,
showed up in Rebels? Because again, I saw Rebels first,
yep.
but
So
then
when I went back and watched that, I was like, yeah. I mean, I was moved by the intensity of it, but it didn't enhance my appreciation of the character, I guess you could say. Because, like you, I am not particularly enamored with those obsessed with the dark side. I
yeah.
just, yeah, sort of, it's not my favorite.
But
So,
it's amazing how like if I did have to choose like a favorite dark side character, I think it might be Maul
really?
because I think he's probably the most interesting. Now, would I go out and buy a Maul Hot Toys figure? No, no, I'm good. But I
Right,
didn't even get the Clone Wars one. But
right. Yeah.
I just and as JB says, Sith are obsessed with overcoming death. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
everybody who is in a position of power will do everything they can to keep it, including cheat death and
Mm-hmm.
just find our way to survive. Yeah, John, like a cockroach, he can survive just about anything. He is like the true space cockroach. That's what we're just gonna call him. Like
I like that. I can
not
get
even
behind that.
galactic strife could stop him. It's like
Nope. Nope.
um
Nope. I will say that that's probably the death scene in Rebels. It took to the episode of Twin Sons for me to finally start to appreciate that character. And when I finally had that ending to it, I've been able to go back over time and start to appreciate it more. I do have to kind of admit I'm still sort of on the fence about this animated series. I don't know.
I think they'll do a good job, and the reason why I say that is because Sam Witwer, voice of Maul,
Mm-hmm.
um, absolutely gives a damn about the character, like to the point where like he'll be annoying about it, and I mean
Yes.
that with love. He will
Yes.
be
Yes.
like, we were talking about this before the show started. The scene in Mortis where Anakin is talking to Shmi
Mm-hmm.
and he's supposed to say you'd meet my wife, you'd really like her, and it's Sam's like hey, they've already
Excuse
met.
me. Yeah. Pardon. Pardon.
So Filoni got out Filoni'd and and
Got out nerded. Yeah, I love it.
and it's just I think both Sam and Dave care so much about the character and want to do so right by the character, but they also want to fill in the backstory because we have, as we
There's
saw,
a bit of a gap. Yeah.
yeah, there's stuff going on that we really don't know. Um, but where would you like to start? You can just kind of fill in the backstory and just kind of guide the mystery a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the only thing that I find really interesting about where they're going with the the Maul series.
Mhm.
Um, is that there is that huge gap. You know, you've got episode 1 and then you've got, multiple years before he shows up again. That's a long time in which a character can continue to develop. There's a whole lot of things that apparently happened to him. So I find that pretty fascinating. Um, I think probably my favorite version of Maul is the Rebels version, because you can see the madness is still there, and but it kind of clings to him like a bad smell. He went from hiding in a ship to hiding in a cave to like he's just it's not been good, right? Um, but he's still so meticulous in his devious planning, that he can come up with the depths of level of betrayal and using other people, that there's still that criminal mastermind in his head, like
Yeah.
competing. He kind of almost reminds me of Smeagol and Gollum. You know what I mean? Like you've
Yeah.
got poor little tormented Dathomir over here, and then you've got this crazy Sith mastermind thing. I will say that's. I am intrigued. I am intrigued. I will give it that. I am curious whether or not they're going to cover the jump from Clone Wars to Rebels, because that's another an even bigger gap, right? Like an even more significant
I
amount of
think so.
time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We see Rook cast, voiced by Vanessa Marshall. She's back.
Hmm.
We also have his time with Crimson Dawn to discuss what
That
happened
I'm
with
interested in.
Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm the most intrigued by because we all know that Maul doesn't do well with organizations.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. John says, I'm hoping Dryden Voss and Kira show up in Shadow Lord. It'd be cool to see that relationship fleshed out a bit. Absolutely. I'm cheering for that. And they
They did
clearly
do some of it in comics. I know that much.
oh,
But yeah,
for those of
there
us
was
who
some.
didn't read it.
Well, I haven't read it, but I know of it that there's some
Yeah.
synopses going on with Kira and Crimson. Um,
Yeah.
Son. Do I
Crimson
always
Dawn.
Dawn? Okay, I always get it confused with the
Black Sun.
Mandalorians.
Yeah.
Yes, I always get them confused. I
So
can
the
start.
the group that what's her name? The bounty hunter friend of Sabine. I cannot remember her name. Oh my god. Voiced by Gina
Oh
Torres.
yeah, Kits.
Ketsu Ono.
Get to. There we go.
So she was Black Sun. And
Right.
yeah.
And she's Crimson Dawn. Yeah. So I have to admit that was probably my favorite Maul cameo was when he showed up at the end of Solo.
Mm.
And that it was actually Ray Park. That was kind of a hop up out of my seat sort of moment for me. And then
I'm ex-
having him pop up, the little hollow figures are popping up in the Clone Wars season 7
yeah.
when they're down under the tunnel. And so I do love the little Easter eggs and how it's all sort of threaded through.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And they clearly he's already infiltrated Mandalore. We've seen him become the leader of
Mm-hmm.
the rebel. Or I shouldn't even say rebel. I should say the other half of the Mandalorian group, like the terrorist group.
Yep.
And
The Death Watch gorilla. Yeah.
yeah, and he aims to destabilize because he knows how much the Empire values Mandalore for their resources, and it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of wants to put a stop to the Empire getting all that. But the thing that bugs me the most, and I'm hoping we get an answer to this, is the fact that at any given time, Maul could have been like, "Hey, Palpatine is Darth Sidious. You need to do something about this,"
Yeah.
and it never happened. And I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, obviously, because it'd be like directed by George Lucas, it'd be over immediately. But
Right. Right. Right.
but
Right. Yeah.
but
That
at the
plot
same,
armor. Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
agree. That's
it's always kind of stuck in my craw. Like you could have said something at like any point in time, dude, and just saved yourself the aggravation. Be like, hey, this guy's running the show.
it's a Sith Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I have to admit I'm kind of curious about that as well. Actually, I think it would be really funny if he told somebody that and they didn't believe him. It would almost kind of be like
Whoops.
a fives sort of situation.
Yeah, with the chip. Oh.
That was always my most
Ugh.
tragic story in all of Clone Wars. That one got me right in the heart, and I was like, oh, he was so close. He almost had it all figured out. Um, but I am really curious to see, because again, this is kind of like I get weary with these dark side characters that do this. He's like all completely obsessed with Obi-Wan. I'm like, Sidious screwed you over way freaking more than Obi-Wan ever did. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but Obi-Wan cut him in half.
well, yeah, but come on, that's fair game, and you survived. So
Yeah.
yeah. But I
At
mean,
what point do you get over it?
well, Sidious is, he threw you over as an apprentice. He tortured you. Like I was like, shouldn't you kind of,
Yeah.
I'd
Oh
I'd be
my
really
god.
curious to see how he manages to rationalize that in his own head. You're
That
mad at this guy, but not that one. I mean, I know you hate the Jedi, but can't you hate them both? Like,
yeah. Dave's like from a certain point of view. um but I think that the part that made me the saddest about like Maul and Asajj have very similar stories. Like they were
hmm
both like tortured as children and you know brought up into the Sith after like their masters were tortured, or in Maul's case, he was taken and his tattoos were forcibly removed, and he was given new Sith tattoos by Palpatine, and it was just like this poor child. He's like been through the freaking ringer from that
Mm.
group of people, and yet he's still been loyal and not said anything. And I'm just like, that's what I don't understand. It's just
Yeah, that's definitely a part that I kind of start to shrug my shoulders and get a little bored with the storyline, especially because I was pretty happy with the way Asaja's stories turned out,
yeah,
that she was able to turn it around, um, maybe a bit less altruistically than we would love to see, but at least she tried to do it right for herself, sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Does anybody know how many episodes there are supposed to be in this series?
I think they're doing 2 a night.
Okay,
It's like 2 a week, I think.
that
I
could end up
think
being quite a few episodes.
it might be 8. I think it's 2 a week. So it goes from like April to like May the 4th or May the 5th or something like that. So
Okay.
it's about a month. So maybe like 2 a night for 4 weeks kind of thing.
I wonder, because Clone Wars love to do the arcs, where you have 3 episodes together or whatever. I'd be really interested to see if like the pairs kind of clump and like we do a bit of a
Yeah.
time jump in between, from here to here to here to here.
I'd be on
Um,
board with that. That'd be really
yeah,
cool.
because especially with animated, they're pretty short stories. So if you're trying to cover a big span of time, um, I think it'd be work pretty
Oh,
well.
yeah, JB says 10 episodes. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you got
Well,
5
that's
weeks
really interesting.
of
Yeah.
fun and education.
Hmm.
Man.
Well, what
Um,
about you? What was your favorite? I liked the Maul and Rebels the best. What about you?
I did like the Maul and Rebels the best. I feel like then he kind of learned a little bit more patience when it came to like having a strategy. And obviously, we
Hmm.
haven't seen him what he does in Shadow Lord yet. Um, but he's very patient and plotting and careful when it comes to like what he plans to do with Ezra and the holocrons and how he can use the holocrons to destroy the Sith. And at the same time, it's so I think my problem, and as much as I loved how he was in Clone Wars, especially like season 7, like those last 4 episodes,
Hmm.
always be chef kiss. But at the same time, I feel like that this is my beef with Twin Sons, and it was my beef at the time, and it took actually listening to that clip of Sam what we're kind of breaking it down and for me to understand it is I thought that fight was way too fast. I'm like, this is like
Oh
20 years in
no.
the making. But when Sam broke it down and was like, okay, he had the Obi-Wan stance, he had the classic Obi-Wan stance, and then he just kind of like, oh, well, if I do the Qui-Gon stance, he thinks he's going to beat me in the same way that he beat Qui-Gon. And
Hmm.
he just completely takes advantage of the hubris that Maul has and
Hmm.
in half. Um, but I think that's probably one of the saddest deaths I've seen in Star Wars, where it's
Yeah.
just like he finds out that this isn't a washed up old man just hiding in the desert from the Empire. Like this
Yeah.
guy is a trained assassin who's still very active and willing to kill for whatever or whomever he's protecting.
Hmm.
And Maul was like, is he the chosen one? And Obi-Wan comes clean and says yes. And then the saddest line is like, then he will avenge us. And then he just
Yeah.
dies. And I'm just like, bro, you put way too much stock in vengeance. And this is what
Yeah.
happens when you do. It's like
Even in the end, he couldn't see past that part of it. Yeah.
revenge. And it's just, he could have just been like, hey, all right.
Couldn't even let it
Cool.
go. Yeah, couldn't even let go of it at the very end when there was not a hope left.
And I think that even Obi-Wan just gets the sadness point in that. I was
Yeah.
just like, he just kind of takes pity on him. Does he
Yeah.
want him to be alive after that? Absolutely not,
Yeah.
because Maul cannot be trusted at this point. But
Yeah. See, that's funny because I actually had the complete opposite reaction to that fight. I mean, I was on my feet and our whole family was like clapping and cheering and
oh,
air
for sure.
punching and like we were just off off the charts excited about it. Because I have to say that that's kind of some of the criticisms that I've heard of people who actually study sword play and things like that. I'm like, if you're actually really good, the fight doesn't drag on for that long. Like it is over that fast. When you're truly masters of your craft, it's done super quick and super fast.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like with Anakin and Obi-Wan in episode 3, the problem was is that they'd had such similar fighting styles, and
One trying the other. Yeah.
they'd spent so much time together, they were so familiar with each other that it was difficult to one up each other because they were so similar. But yeah, no, the tragedy and the beauty and the misunderstanding and everything. Yeah. Well, JB, that's the one thing Obi-Wan was always really good at, was accepting fate.
Yeah.
Same thing with losing the love of their lives, the difference between how Obi-Wan and how Anakin reacted to it. That's right there is to me the difference between the light and the dark side right there, you
Absolutely.
know.
And obviously, Obi-Wan grieved. The saddest death. Nope, nope, nope. He had it coming for the saddest death he perpetrated. Yeah. Sorry, Dave. Qui-Gon fan in the house over there.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, no, I mean the Qui-Gon death and the Satine death, and I think, but at least for me, as you know, us both as huge Obi-Wan fans,
Yeah.
the point is that that was the way it had to play out. He may have had that death coming, but Obi-Wan would never be the kind of person who would go out and search for it or hunt him down.
Right.
Um, he had a goal, he had a mission, he had something that was more important, altruistic to the end. But when Maul came looking for him, then he did what he had to do.
Exactly.
When he left him no other option, 25 years later, however the hell long it's
Whatever BBY. That's what we're gonna say. Whatever BBY.
right? And then I don't even remember how many years before Order 60. I don't even remember. I don't even remember. Ridiculous number of years. 30 some years at this point. Um,
But
but that was always one of my favorite scenes in
oh
Clone Wars when
yeah,
somebody said to
Qui-Gon.
Obi-Wan,
Yeah, Karma found Maul. Yeah, absolutely.
Satine. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
well, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
There was something about Maul and Obi-Wan. I don't remember who said it to him. He's like, "Boy, that guy must really hate you, or must really have a grudge against you." And Obi was like, "You have no idea." That was definitely my favorite Maul line right
Just
there.
the,
That was
the
good.
dry line
Yeah.
from James Arnold Taylor. You have
Yep, you have
no
no
idea.
idea. And I do not have time to tell you, sir. Mm-mm. Yep. It would take
And that
way
was
too long.
obviously pre-Satine death on that one because it was just like I think it
Yeah.
was when he goes to Mandalore,
I think it was. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's something that one of Satine's people says to him, and he's just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
But the thing that I like, the things that I found cool was the amount of mysticism and stuff that allowed Maul to not only lose the lower half of his body's spider thing and like kind of ease his mind from like the madness but still keep like the vengeance part of him
hmm.
and give him like actual functioning metal legs, like a little more appropriate and less terrifying. um
Hmm.
I think the Night Sisters helping him with that and him going back to Dathomir and obviously working with Savage Press and just kind of rediscovering his Dathomirian roots a little bit. But I was not expecting to see the fight with Emperor Palpatine and just complete craziness and how Palpatine just viciously mowed down
Yeah.
Savage, like,
Yep.
but left Maul alive, being like, "I'm just gonna take this from you, and it's gonna happen." And
And then tortured him with
yeah,
the Force lightning. And
yeah,
that was the last time we saw him until he showed up in Rebels. Like we just had no
yep.
clue, no idea, no clue. So I will say I'm kind of glad they're going to fill that in a little bit. I have that itchy brain syndrome when it comes to continuity. I'm like, I need you to fill this in for me here. Which is why the Kenobi show like soothed such an itch for me because I was
Oh, for
like,
sure.
this is not lining up. So possibly the Maul's Shadow Lord here will serve the same purpose. But I don't know. It's hard for me when I'm not excited about the character. to like
Yeah.
get really excited about the show. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see once I get down to, but I'm thinking this is going to be kind of like Skeleton Crew for me, where it's fine, and I'm really glad other people like it, but I'm probably going to be bored.
I don't know if you'll be bored. Like I'm gonna put it on a limb and say
Okay.
this
Okay.
could be like Bad Batch season 2.
Oh, see, I loved all of Bad Batch. I didn't have
Yeah.
any problems with any part of it.
I'm saying it for a Mark perspective because I think I think a lot of people that are just kind of on Bad Batch in season 1, they really got on board in season 2.
Okay.
So I think that's gonna be like, obviously this is. I don't think Sam would want to be, as much as Maul has become his character, I don't think he would want to be on board as much if he didn't think that the story or this part of the universe needed to be explored.
Interesting.
So
Interesting. Okay.
they're such guardians of the character, I think, and it's kind of like Ashley and Dave with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's their own niche for things. And
Yeah. See, but you're not winning me over here because I wasn't happy with what happened in Ahsoka. So
I'm sorry.
that's not a good little path to trip down there. You're
But I'm
not.
just, okay, so I'm just saying, not as the show, but as the character. Like
Okay.
Dave, between like Clone Wars season 7, bringing Ahsoka and the rest of the Rebels into live action, regardless of how you like the story, he feels like that character is important, and he has more stories to tell of it. What happens with the character and what happens with fleshing out the storyline, that remains to be seen, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think Sam is enough of a nerd like us
Yeah.
that he will want what's best. And I'm going based on what I saw in Rebels, because I honestly thought at first, I was like, oh, Maul's kind of playing like devil's advocate here between Ezra and that was my first like introduction to it. It's like, oh, he's using the holocron. But as it went on, I was like, oh, he's really caught between a rock and a hard place with this. Like, he doesn't, like, he wants to be on the light side. He wants to be a Jedi. But at the same time, he feels like he has a duty to find out what Maul wants so he can stop Maul. But in reality, Maul is using the need to stop the bad to further his advantage. And I think that was very smartly done. And the fact that I was listening to an interview with Sam, he had it set up where this was on Pod of Rebellion. Shout out to that.
I was just going to bring that up. Yes, I loved that clip of explaining it, and I loved that Taylor Gray started by saying he didn't know anything about the Force, but the way Maul was explaining it to him as the actor, he's like, okay, see, Dave, I think this is a great idea. What's the problem with this?
And Freddie, who's like born and bred in Star Wars since the 70s, and Sam, who also loves Star Wars, and you have Taylor, who's like Ezra, completely new to Star Wars, and this is like, okay.
And they physically have them set up in the booth
in
where
between
you've got Ezra in the middle and Maul on one side and Kanan on the other, and then they literally are like, okay, and go. And he's like, Ezra, he's using you. And it's literally Freddie shouting at Sam.
I loved that so much. I really did.
That's diabolical is what that is. I think he owes them like a couple therapy sessions or something for that, man. I mean, that's brutal.
I know, but it's so intelligent. It's like,
it worked really well, but I was like, that's just mean.
This is literally method acting, though, if you think about it, because Taylor knew nothing about Star Wars. Taylor was a baby. He wasn't around in the 70s. He didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
And then you have, Sam, who's, I'm guessing Sam's probably late 40s, something like that.
Yeah, in his 40s somewhere, I think, yeah.
And then you have Freddie, who's in his 50, I guess, and it's just insane that there's that balance between the two like that. And I'm just like, what? This worked out so well.
It really did. Yeah. And
Sam's 48.
Yep, we're the same age. We were married the same year. We were near the same month. We were married the same age. Yeah.
And then let's see. Freddie is 49. So yeah, they're about the same age. But again, they grew up with Star Wars.
Yep.
And
Samesies.
It's what they love, and it's to have poor Taylor just be like, like Ezra in real time about the two. I found that incredibly fascinating. So
I did too. Like I said, at first I was very reluctant about it. They definitely brought it around, and I liked that character arc so much, and it was such a satisfying resolution and conclusion that I was like, "Oh, guys, don't bring it back up. Don't make that's like putting ketchup on prime rib. Like you're ruining it. Stop. It's just fine the way it is." So, but that's kind of my again, I'm also the same age as Sam and Freddie. Um, and so many times I've seen people bring something back or reboot something or add a new season later, and it doesn't work, right? I'm like, it's
Right.
lightning in a bottle. It's great, but I'm fascinated what you said about that Sam wouldn't do the character just to do the character again, right?
Yeah.
That it would have to be the right kind of stories and the right kind of quality. So that's reassuring.
Yeah.
That's reassuring.
He had like a really good. I think I saw like a clip where like Filoni approached him about this, and he asked Sam to come in, and Sam thought it was for like another Star Wars project or something, and he sat down with him, and he was like immediately like Dave doesn't waste any time. He just goes right for the kill. He's like, yeah, so we're gonna do this Maul series, and so we're gonna do this and this, and Sam's just like, hold on. You're doing a Maul series? Like, and he's like, back up. So it's just the way Dave discussed it with him. And obviously, I think that's a very Dave introduction to it. But like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I really don't think Sam is a very intelligent man. He's very protective of the character. I don't think
Yeah.
he would have done it if he didn't feel like there was more story to tell.
That's good. I mean, it was funny because I saw the clip where he was talking about that my friends and I have already discussed this. Like we've already had conversations about where was Maul and what was he doing and what do you think was happening? And it was like, yeah, you really are a nerd, man. Just
But here we are. Hello.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah, pot kettle. I get it, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
sure. But
Yeah, so
I think it's really fascinating how they have taken him literally from death and brought him around, given him a little more life. Obviously, there's pockets of time we don't see, which obviously leads to more stories that can be told, unless they cover them all with the series. We'll see.
it could be. Yeah, yeah.
But I think that giving him a second life and giving a chance. Now, Maul is a lot of people's favorite character. Like it really is. Like I've seen.
I don't get that. I mean, it's no judgment,
It's like
but I'm
Darth
just
Vader. Like I don't understand that either, but I get it. Okay. At the same time, like
yeah,
some
yeah,
people just like the
yeah,
bad guys.
yeah, yeah.
And ain't me, but it's all good.
Right, right. Yeah.
I,
I think probably what I'm most intrigued in is that they kind of are implying that there was so much more going on behind the scenes. That's why I love shows like Lower Decks. That's why I love shows like Solo and Andor and Rogue One, is because
the main story.
it's not the bridge crew out here doing the big stories. It's not the main heroes. There's all these other bits and pieces going on back
Yeah.
here. And I always enjoy that kind of a story where it impacts that I know XYZ happens. I mean, it's part of the reason I love going to museums and history exhibits and things like that because, okay, all the highlights that you got from, middle school and high school history classes, but then you're looking at all of these other things underneath and behind the scenes and all through time that are directly connected. Whereas if these little things hadn't happened, these big things would never have happened.
Yeah.
So I am intrigued by the idea of Maul being one of those characters, especially as you said, from the evolution of a character who was supposed to be dead. Now all of a sudden we're, all the way up here, and he's had such an impact on all of these important key figures and events
Oh
galaxy
yeah.
wide,
Like
kind of mind-boggling.
when Vader comes back and faces off against Ahsoka, and Maul's responsible for leading them to the pyramid and leading them in, to opening up the holocron and stuff. And it's just like, okay, that wouldn't have happened. We would not have
Exactly.
Ahsoka possibly sacrificing herself to protect everybody else from Vader if
Hmm.
Maul hadn't led them there. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's pieces
Deep.
of things.
Really deep. Yep. Yep.
And he was so dastardly in that entire scene, like to the point where like he's helping them defeat Inquisitors. Like it was just wild to me.
Yeah. I will definitely say the mercurial nature of him, that he's so unpredictable that you never really know what he's going to do.
Mm.
I do find that interesting
But
because it
that also
doesn't
led
usually
them.
happen with villains. They're usually pretty predictable. There's a, a pot of things that they pull from, and
Yeah.
so yeah, him turning around and killing Inquisitors, you're like, what just happened? Hey, got a sec.
Like even Chopper wasn't that ruthless. He fired at him, but he didn't kill him.
I think he was just a lousy shot. I don't think he had his aim on that
He
day.
couldn't see in the ship. It's fine.
He needed to be properly calibrated, right?
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
We're
Mm.
gonna go with that. But I felt like also it kind of lulled Ezra into a false sense of security. It's like, hey, see, I'm on your side. I want to stop the Sith.
Yeah.
And it just
Wink, wink.
it felt like another layer of Maul's plans. Like I feel like he's got plan
Mhm.
A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and so on and so forth until like he finally like gets what he wants with things.
I will say one of the things that I did appreciate about the character, it took a little bit to kind of pick up on it in Clone Wars, but then to have it, I guess, brought to life so
Mm,
beautifully in Rebels, was that when George created the Sith, one of the key things that he talked about was that um, it was created by a fallen Jedi, but their secret to the Sith is that they're patient, right? They um, they study, they train, and they keep hidden, right? Until they're ready to launch the plan. Um, and that definitely, we see that very clearly in Sidious. That's why he has all these apprentices and does all of this, galactic manipulation and everything. But that Maul took that training even when he went crazy and went mad, and even when he, was distilled down into Night Sister vengeance. He still had the patience to pull all of that crap with the underworld crime lords, and he had the patience to pull all that crap with Mandalore, and then he had the patience to wait it out and figure out the holocron and try to track down Obi-Wan with the planet of twin suns. I mean, how many twin suns are there in a galaxy, for God's sake? um that even with the edges of all that madness, he's and in his utter like rebuking of the Sith, he's still stuck to that which made him Sith, which was
yeah.
the patience and the training and the planning and
I
the
don't think
waiting.
I think it's because he knew no other way to be. And it's always what worked for him in the past.
Hmm.
So he just kept going with what he knew because it's like, hey, it worked for them for a reason. I can still do this. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
hey,
But
Liberty.
did it work? Oh, Disney. Oh,
Yes, live the best life.
good girl. Good girl.
Most me.
Go get some red crystals, red kyber crystals, and see if you can get a couple of Maul quotes in there or something for us, right?
Go get a Ronto wrap and a Melee Run juice or a Tatooine
Yes.
sunset. Or even blue.
Oh,
I'll take a blue milk. It's
oh,
fine.
icky. No, I didn't like those. Neither one.
They
Neither
have
one. Did
pink
not like
milk
those.
now. I'm not sure if it's still there, but yeah. I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't know. I don't know
Hmm.
about that.
Okay, that could be interesting. That could be
Yeah.
interesting.
But yeah, I feel like that it was integral to his survival thus far, and he's just like, all right, it's working. I'm just gonna keep going with what
See,
I know.
but was it working? Did it work? Did it kind of spectacularly fail him over and over and over again? He kept kind of getting, proverbially kicked when he was down, right?
Yeah,
Like the great reveal of their plan didn't end well, and then it didn't end well with the Night Sisters, and it didn't end well with the criminal syndicates, and it like didn't he kind of keep failing upward or side like laterally? Like, well, I'm gonna go here, try this. Nope. Okay, I'll try this. Nope.
right across the board.
He's stubborn. I'll give him that, right?
Yeah. Again, it's just when you don't know any other way to be, it's like, okay, one of these has to stick, I guess. So,
Yeah.
the thing that I bothered me the most, I have to say, about Maul in season 7 of Clone Wars is that
Mm.
once they trapped him and put him in the Mandalorian coffin, like again, we yell at the TV for this. Stop like arresting people and start doing, justice and Yeah, next level shit, because Homeboy's gonna break out. Maul is like, there's a reason why he was still alive through all that, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
not gonna end well for anybody if he gets out, which he does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thanks to some Mauldalorian loyalists.
I hate that word.
Yeah.
It's accurate, but God, I hate
It's
it.
so accurate, and I'm like, "Wow, you guys putting spikes on your helmets?" Like, it was so frustrating to me. I was like, "I get it. I totally get it. It looks cool. It's a way to sell
No, it doesn't.
figures."
Actually, the little horns crown on his head is one of my favorite things about Maul. You just do away with those, and then
You
they
don't
put
like
him on
that
the helmet.
Zadrak life?
No, no, and then they put them on their helmets, and I'm like, oh, come
Oh,
on.
they doubled down just for you, Sarah. They're like,
They
"Here you
did.
go.
Yep,
You
they
don't like
did.
this here."
Well, you succeeded in irritating me, so well done.
Congratulations, guys.
Yep, mission accomplished.
I do really think that the most interesting part, I mean, for me when it comes to Maul is, I like when they don't really have like a set, like, he's always going to be mysterious, and he's always going to be kind of in the background. They're always going to have plans for him. So as you said, in Clone Wars, we don't see him again after he fights Palpatine and Savage dies.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what happens. We're going to fill in that gap, and we don't see him again until season 7 when he goes up against Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't see him again until he comes into Rebels, which is, I want to say 10 years later.
It's more than
So,
that because Ezra's like 16 at that point. And
right.
Clone Wars. So yeah, I'd say it's a good solid 15, 16 years.
No,
Because we had
because we see Luke and Rebels, right?
no, yeah, but we see
Oh, yeah, because that's
Maul.
all of it.
Yeah,
Yes,
because it's
you're
right
right.
before Order 66, and then it's
Right.
like 15, 16 years later. So yeah, it's a yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's playing the long game for Maul, I think, and without like revealing all of his backstory in one fell swoop, and just kind of doing like little increments here and there.
Yeah.
I think it keeps interest peaked, and people were like, "Oh, okay, I want to know more about this character," and
Hmm.
it allows them to keep it fresh by writing their own fan fiction, or like, the creators and the actors wanting to delve more into it. And I think they've played him smart over the years with like just giving us
Yeah.
just enough to keep us hooked. And though I don't like what has happened with the live action of Maul, I do like Solo, and I like that he made an
Mm-hmm.
appearance in Solo,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
without delving into it, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they're continuing Maul's story in animation, because I know a lot of people that will care.
Yeah, I will say that that's probably the best part for me about this show is that it's given Lucasfilm Animation another big project,
Yeah.
and hopefully the enough wind in the sails to keep going because I loved Clone Wars, I adored Rebels, I loved Bad Batch, and so it's like if this just keeps us going and keeps giving us more of this stuff, then that'll definitely make me happy in the future. Hopefully.
And having visions and having tales of the fill in the blank
Mhm,
here,
mhm, mhm.
it has been a good project for Lucasfilm Animation, when it's been keeping them afloat. But I feel like that when they do series like this, like Bad Batch and Rebels and Clone Wars, and now this, it gives them a stake and something to focus on, and a story to tell that's exclusively to the animation department, and
Mhm,
it's not going to
mhm.
be like muddied down in a movie or a live action series. And I love that, and I love that Dave is still an animation loyalist, and it's still like on the front burner, because he could do this in live action,
No.
like it would be huge. But at
Yeah,
the same time, he chose to stick to the tales that he wanted to tell, and I think in the best method that has
yeah.
worked for Maul as a character thus far.
Agreed,
So
agreed. Yeah, I absolutely agree that his character has blossomed in animation, and I'm thrilled that that is continuing, that legacy is continuing, and hopefully will for quite some time into the future.
yay, because we
No,
like it.
you might have won me over a little bit. Maybe I'm a teeny tiny bit excited about the show now.
You hear that, JB? Write this
Maybe a
down.
little.
Write this down. This is a big deal.
Tiny,
Mark
tiny bit.
mark
Just a
this
little.
day.
Give
As Steve Urkel said, I'm wearing you down.
That happens a lot in the VCN. I'm noticing this. Dog puddle on the rabbit. It all kind of, yeah. It can be hard.
Nuh-uh.
It can be
No
hard. I mean,
way.
in a good way. But yeah, it could be hard to stick to your guns in this place. Let me tell you.
Oh, for sure. But I like that there are so many different avenues to like the character. Like you can be like, oh, well, I saw him in Phantom Menace. Like, and honestly, I, as much as he terrified me when I was a kid. Like my uncle Ray, I think I was like 16 when that movie came out. He bought us like the interlocking banks of like Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon. And they talked, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want Darth Maul in my room." And even my brother, like, we would fight about it, like who was gonna have Darth Maul in their
Take
room
the evil thing away. Take
because
the
he
evil thing
was so
away.
scary looking, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. I was thrilled when Obi-Wan broke his little twirly toy and cut him in half and kicked him down the thing. I was like cheering in the theater. I was really excited about that. I was like, "Yeah, good, go away."
I remember like watching the trailer, and they had him like light the second half of the lightsaber, and everyone was just like, "Oh!" It was like nothing we had ever seen before. Like lightsabers are swords; they're not like bow staffs, and it was completely unique and completely new.
I
And
hated it.
oh my
I
god,
thought it was dumb.
my
It's
brother
kind of
got
grown on me now. Yeah, but
my brother got one for Christmas when he was a kid. So my brother's 3 years younger than me.
yeah,
So he was
yeah.
13 when it came out, and he was just like, "Look what I got!" And then he proceeded to whack you in the shins with it. But it was just like
Sounds
it,
about right.
it was really cool, and
He's how we get the stupid little whirly twirly bird lightsabers from the Inquisitors. You know, I'm like, they're all, it's a direct line of crap that's connected that I don't like and don't agree with. So that's kind of how I
I
feel
mean,
about that.
I remember signing up for the Inquisitor lightsaber for the HasLab. Michael wanted it. It would look cool.
My oldest son Ian has, I'm not kidding, like a 30-second rant about those and why they don't work and they're not a real thing and that isn't how physics works and this would not be able to like you can't bring up twirly lightsaber helicopters in front of him. He just like goes off like a Roman candle. It's hysterical.
Suspension of disbelief.
No, he won't
I
do
don't
it.
know.
No, he won't do it.
You
Yeah.
just can't. It's
He's,
fine.
I don't know where he gets it from, but obviously not me. No way. No way.
But I think overall, like having the character come back and us learning, to me, just the name Shadow Lord kind of gives us an idea of like, okay, he's gonna be continuing his Sithy ways. He's gonna be operating in silence. Bless you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. And he's going to be operating in the shadows, and he's going to be pitting one against the other, and he's just going to be out to get what he needs to get in this series.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely getting like, puppet master machinations. Yeah, definitely. He's not a Sith, but he's still kind of weaving those same webs, I think.
I think that's part of a Dathomirian thing. I think with the Night
Hmm.
Sisters, they do kind of connive and plot, and
Okay.
they're not quite involved, but they're not quite outsiders either. They don't care about the Jedi or the Sith. They just want, to stay in power.
Hmm.
And I think he's got that very Dathomirian mindset, that very night sisterly, night brotherly mindset, where it's like, okay, I don't give a shit if the Sith lose. I don't give a shit if the Jedi lose.
I just want to be on top. Yeah.
I just want to be on top
No.
because I deserve this. They've ruined my life, both of them. So
Sounds about right.
that's where I think it's gonna go. It's a very Maul thing to do.
Interesting.
So what's your speculation for the series?
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't even watched the trailer. So
Ah,
yeah, no, I've kind of just been dodging it and I don't know, some of the interviews that I've seen with poor Sam, the poor guy, he's like, "Oh, I wish I could tell you more." So he's obviously like under a super tight NDA. But he talks about the journey of the character
right.
and his descent into madness and that Maul ends up becoming the point of view character.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Huh, okay." So I guess what I'm hoping for is really intriguing writing, right? Because I'm already kind of like sort of indifferent about the characters. So if you can really suck me in with a good story that isn't contingent on me feeling sorry for Maul, then that would be
I don't
like,
feel sorry for you. You killed
I don't.
Satine.
I'm like, I'm sorry, man. You just keep setting yourself up for this. I'm like, it just I don't know what else to say. I'm like,
So John brings up an interesting point. Will the Twi'lek Jedi from the trailer end up becoming Darth Talon? That'd be interesting.
I don't know who that is. Who's
So,
that?
so Darth Talon is a Sith. She's all red. She wears like a black bikini top. She's got the black tattoos on her leg boot.
Okay. Oh, I've seen that.
You've
I've
seen
seen that.
cosplayers. You've seen art. I'm sure we can't
Yes.
draw her because she's nearly naked and
I saw someone creating a minifig of that. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Mm.
yeah, I mean that's entirely possible. Like it'd be a deep dive, but hey, we get Embo. Hello,
I had to go
Embo.
back. I had to go back and look that up. I think that was one of the Clone Wars episodes I fell asleep on.
Yeah.
I
So
was like,
that was actually
what's
like
everybody talking about?
one of the first characters that Dave Filoni has voiced in the series in Star Wars.
Yeah, I looked that up and I was like, that's funny. Okay.
So yeah, so he shows up in Ahsoka. So they have a habit of like pulling characters out of
Yeah.
legends
Obscurity.
and
Yeah.
out of obscurity, like Enbo, and putting him where they see fit. So it's entirely possible. Like they've done things like that in the past. I'm also very excited we get Queen Vanessa Marshall back as Rook cast.
Mhm.
I love that Rook survived the Mandalorian conflict and the capture of Maul. I was worried that they were just going to round up all the traitors, but I want to see where it goes with that. But also, like, do you feel like Sam is going to be writing some of these stories, like co-writing or like working with them on some of these Maul stories? That'd be fascinating.
That'd be interesting. That would be really interesting. I
'Cause
don't
that's
know
what,
if they'd actually give him writer's credit, but maybe he had a lot of input on where it was going, considering day one he was fact checking Filoni. Maybe they'll let him maybe they'll put him in a corner with a box of carrots. It'll be like, nope, already covered that. Nope, that's not right. Nope, this was in episode 2. Sorry, no, you can't. They'll just
kind
put him
of
in the
photographic memory when it comes to Maul, and that's like so impressive. Or Star Wars in general, like really, it's so
yeah,
impressive.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah.
That's cool. Mm.
So we shall see. I'm very excited, and I'm so glad that we get somebody interesting. And I feel like he's multifaceted in the sense that like you don't have many people who are fighting for the good side or the bad side. Like it's neither for him, and it's always has been neither. It's been solely based on what he wants and what he needs.
Yeah,
Eh,
unbeknownst to him, ever since he died.
yeah.
He
So
was all in for, most of his life as an apprentice, and then when that went sideways, then it was sort of, I'm all in
it
for
was
myself now.
yeah, exactly. A big F you because I was cut in half by a Jedi, but it was because of the Sith. And they just left me there
Yep.
that I became that. So it's interesting to have someone who doesn't give a shit about sides and just wants to cause fucking chaos.
Yeah, the evil Bendu, right? The Bendu
Yeah.
wanted nothing to
They,
do with anything and wanted to be left alone, and he's like, "Burn it all! Burn it all!" Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's very Bendu of him, but it's a destructive Bendu. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes. Chaotic evil, apparently. Yeah.
hmm for realsies.
Mm.
So yeah, that's our deep dive on Maul. Just kind of
Yeah, hopefully got everybody else excited for it.
except Sarah.
Even me a tiny little bit. But yeah, if it didn't, then there are lots of other opportunities to whet your appetite and get you hyped all across the VCN, getting ready for our next animated show.
Yeah, March Maulness. That's what we're delving into. So thanks for posting that because now we know what it's called.
No, it was,
Um,
yeah.
so tomorrow night on the VCN watch along, we have Maul Essentials: The Clone Wars episodes 21 and 22 of season 4
Mhm.
and season 5 of episode 1. And
JB will be there to hold your hand if you're not all caught up on Maul's past or who he is or what's he doing or why should I want to watch animation. This is a great way to dive in and get the Sam Witwer version of Maul. We had episode 1 with Ray Park, the movie,
yeah,
last week, and so now this is diving headfirst into Clone Wars. Yep.
It's exciting. And then Friday, we have the Life at Lightspeed podcast. As usual, at 5 p.m. Eastern, they'll be discussing Star Wars news, headlines, and family fun.
Yes, breaking. All the late breaking good news that's coming out in the Star Wars universe. They'll cover it out for you.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Unifying Force. The Unifying Force on Sunday.
Right. They're going to delve into the Oscars preview.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And that'll be that Sunday. So
definitely check that out. Hopefully they will be, vociferously defending Andor.
I know. It'd be as cool as it is. I wish it could win an Oscar. Obviously, it can't because it's
No,
considered
because it's
television.
TV show. I know. Yeah, but
God, it deserved it, man. Especially everything just keeps getting worse, and I'm like, you guys taking playbooks out of the show, really?
Yep.
Crazy. Yeah. So that's our recap on Maul for the month. Get you guys all hype for.
Yeah, thanks for taking me through it. It's been
You're
fun.
welcome. Holding your hand, getting you excited, getting the Whitwerness down because we know Sam loves our boy Maul. And
Sure does.
it's kind of nice that like Ashley and now Rosario and Sam are such guardians of their characters that they just they care. And I like when actors aren't just voicing a character, like they actually give a damn about the character.
Yeah,
So
it means a lot to us fans of animation that when they love these characters as much as we do, that's a huge bonus.
for sure. So we will catch you guys next month. And
thank you all for joining us.
Thanks so much. This is fun. I love hanging out with you and getting to talk shop about this stuff.
Same. Always enjoy it. Looking forward to next time.
Yeah.
Until then, everybody take care. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself.
And for light and life.
For light and life.
And may the force be with you.
Always.